Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jennifer. And today's video is totally unprepared. The decision was made maybe 5 minutes ago. I want to compare two palettes. And I was playing around off camera with this palette, and it's the Beaute Violet Sage palette, and this is what it looks like. Well, when I got it, I was like, there's just something so familiar about this palette that I could not put my finger on. But every time I looked at it, I was like, there's just something about this palette. Well, kind of all along, I've been doing a declutter of sorts. You know, palette set as I'm rearranging and reorganizing and this, that, and the other. I've been pulling palettes out that I knew I was going to declutter. And lo and behold, 5 minutes ago, I had this one. The Jaclyn Hill, the Vault, one of the Vault ones, and this one is called the Bling Boss palette. So, I got to looking at it, and then I put it side by side. They're not all... This isn't a dupe palette by any means, because obviously there's some in one that's not in the other, but are you seeing what I'm seeing? Like this palette, the Jaclyn palette, that purple is a shimmer, and in the Ace it's a matte. So, but there were just so many similarities. Now, I have not swatched them side by side. I did a video like this before. Well, I did several, one eye, one the other videos, but one of the ones that I did kind of at the very beginning of my channel was a are they dupes or similarities or whatever. One of them was the Born to Run palette from Urban Decay, and I put that up against, what was it called? I think it was OPV. Anyway, I will try to link that video if I remember. Anyway, so I said, you know what? I'm going to do one on one eye and one on the other and see what we come out with, because I will tell you, this palette, I love Jaclyn Hill's formula. I am not one of these that goes out and buys everything she puts out with. You know, I know her nickname, Jaclyn Shield, all that good stuff. You know, that's not a factor in my thought process on this palette. Morphe has some really good palettes, and Morphe has some really crappy palettes, and daggone it, I moved it. Her OG palette is one of my favorites, hands down. It's one of my favorites. But these palettes right here were not the best in my opinion. So let's put them on my eyes now. I'm going to use my Ace Beaute eye primer. I do know how that works, and I trust that. So I'm going to prime my eyes using this. Okay, eyes are primed. I am going to set my eye primer with the Maybelline Fit Me for both eyes. I know how this works as well, so I'm going to start with this shade, Hush Hush. This is the Jacqueline. And I'm going to swatch this. And this is not an identical color. It's not at all. But I need to start somewhere with a light transition. And in the Ace palette, I'm going in with Begonia, which is considerably lighter. I mean, that's them on my fingers. They're nowhere near close. But I'm going to, that's what I'm going to do. Just to get a color up there. And damn it, my eyes are starting to water. God, it never fails. Never. So the Ace is going on this side. Jacqueline this side. So going in with some Begonia. And put that up there. Now I'm going to, and I have a switch as well as a towel. And I'm switching them off very good. Now I'm going into Hush Hush. And let's put that on this side. This palette had such potential. All of them did, honestly. This is the only one that I have from her Vault collection. Okay. So it really didn't give much payoff. That's why this is being decluttered. This palette did not work for me. It just didn't. I wish that it did, but it didn't. And honestly, even if it did work for me, I would probably still be decluttering it because A, it's well past its expiration date. Not that I pay attention to that. Well, I do pay attention to that. That's on a case-by-case basis, honestly, with me. Because for the most part, you know, powders are powders. I can, you know, use an alcohol spray and clean them up, so forth, so on. But this particular palette, I just couldn't get it to really work for me. So, there's that. Now, I'm going to take another brush. And this is actually a Jacqueline Hill brush from Morphe. I did enjoy that range of brushes. So, on the Ace side, I'm going in with this color Starflower, which is that right there. And then the Jacqueline side, I'm going in with, I'm going to swatch them, but it's either going to be Rockstar or Sparks. So, one of these two I'm going to swatch just to see. Let's see. There's that one. There's that one. And then there's Wildflower. So, that's those three. Wildflower is on the top. So, I think it's going to be, I actually may mix these two together. So, let's go into Starflower first. And get some on our brush. And I'm just going to kind of start out slow and tapping the color up there. And you know what? I'm going to try these instead of mixing them first, I'm going to try the Rockstar shade by itself first. And we'll see. Again, brush has been switched. Knocked off, and again, I'm just tapping it initially. If I'm not mistaken, my issue with this palette was that it did not blend very well. Okay, yep, this one is coming off a little bit deeper. So now I'm going to pop in just a bit of that other shade, Sparks. And alright. Sorry if you guys can hear. It's pouring down rain here. I'm going to go back in to Starflower. I'm going back in the Ace palette and pick up a little bit more of that shade, because I went in very light, and I'm going to see if I can kind of get it to this intensity. Yeah, it is pouring down rain, and I know when I got up this morning, I was definitely feeling my fibro. It was like, good morning, beautiful. I am here to stay. So when Samantha, she ended up calling me. At this point, I didn't know it was raining outside. Okay, so yeah, this one's definitely deeper than this one. So, let's go. Now going in with this shade, Mystic, in the Jacqueline palette, and Umber in the Ace palette. And again, I'm going to swatch these so you guys can see. They look very, very similar. In the pan, but they do. Vary. So, and I'm just going to use the same brush. So, let's go into Umber a little bit, which I'm actually suspecting will deepen this eye to look more like this one. Yep. You really did. But anyway, Samantha called, and, you know, we were yip-yapping, and I forgot what I said. Oh, I told her. I said, she was telling me something about some plans. I told her, I said, you know what, Sam? Text it to me. I said, I am in a lot of pain right now. I was still in the bed. And I told her, I said, now I'm going in with the Jacqueline palette. I told her, I said, my bones, joints, everything aches right now. My spine. And regardless of if my kidneys are cooperating or not, I hurting. So I was trying to get comfortable and this, that, and the other. And I was like, just shoot me these dates in a text so I can have them, write them down, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, I will. She's like, it's just so ugly outside today, Mama. It's so rainy. I was like, well, there we go. That explains why I am in the pain I'm in because of the weather. Okay. I don't know how it's coming off on camera, but I can tell you, looking in my mirror, these look daggone near identical. That dark shade in the Jaclyn palette is very patchy. I can tell you that. And I'm judging it by really this section, not the end, because my eyes watering. I mean, story of my life. But by adding that umber shade, that shade right here, to those, really elevated it and made it much more close to me, I think. But anyway, now we're going to go into the shade. Let me see. I'm thinking the shade. Let me swatch these purples just to, yeah, okay. We're going to put purple up there just for, obviously the shimmer is Jaclyn and this is the Ace. And we're going to swatch these side by side. I'm going to put some purple in here. Normally, I wouldn't, because it's not the look I'm going for, but I am for comparison. So let me go in to the violet shade in the Ace palette and put some on this packer brush, and I'm just going to kind of pack it. Not quite all the way to the end, but very lightly on this side and packing it more on the outer. And now I'm going to flip it around, even though I, cleaned it off. I'm going to go into this gem shade. And I'm not wetting it. So let's see. Okay, let's just forget about that. The end of this. Okay, let's just... I don't know why I kicked it off. I didn't need to. Okay, the tone is definitely different. This is definitely coming off more pigmented, or a deeper pigment than this one. And that's okay. That's, the point of these videos. This one is the Ace, and these three up here are from the Jaclyn palette. Now, the Ace also has some pink, which I'm going to swatch these two. And let's pop them down here. And so these are all Ace Beaute, and these are Jaclyn. So I think I'm going to go in with these two. Shade brush. And I'm dipping into Cosmos, which is right here. And I am going to wet the brush. And let's go on top. I'm just going all over the lid with this shade. Okay. And now I'm going in with Glitz and Glam in the Jacqueline palette. I'm going to wet it. This one is definitely coming off more on the bronzy side than this one. This one looks more rose goldish. And I'm just going over that purple. Now that we saw. And flipping the brush. Now, I'm going to take and see if I can use one of these other two pinks, either those two, to kind of give it a better match to this eye. So, let's see. I think I want to use this one, the Wisteria, which was this pink one. Again, let's spray the brush. This is either going to be completely, totally different, or it's going to bring it together. Okay, that definitely made it more on the pink side. So let's come over to this side, and I'm going to go over with this shade, which is Bling Bling, that shade. And we'll see on this side what that transforms it to. Having a hard time picking that up with a brush, so I'm going to use my finger. Okay. You know, I could keep going and keep layering, but this, minus all this mess, is what I came up with using these so similar to me palettes. You know, and maybe that's, I'm always drawn to the berries and pinks and purples, but, you know, I mean, I love the colors in this. I mean, absolutely love them. But they are just not the best quality, in my opinion. They just aren't. And then, you know, then you have a shade like this, which is this Berry Treasure in the Jacqueline palette. That color right there, while it looks purple there, it doesn't look like that from in real life. But I am going to swatch that shade. It's very, it looks, see there it looks black. So it's kind of like, is it copper? Is it black? Is it purple? Is it green? It's just got a little bit of a shift to it, I think. So, you know what? Let's put it on our eyes. I mean, this is the fun of it. I enjoy this. So, got it on my brush. Gonna spray. And I'm going to pop this shade on both of these eyes and see what we get. Wow. It's very deep. Very deep. I bet that would have been really pretty laid down first. And then put some of those pinks over top of it. And you know what? Let's do that too. I mean, in for a penny, in for a pound, right? So let's take. We're going to go back and, you know what, we're going to use this shade because we hadn't used it so far, which is the shade Ballsy, which is that shade. And I'm going to put that over top. And see if it does anything. Let's try it with my finger. Not very impressed with anything over that shade. And that shade is messy. It's just a messy shade. So I'm going to pop into this palette and pop on a shimmer like we did this one. And I'm going to go in with this one because I hadn't used this one. That one. What is this? How does he say that? Anemone. I don't know. I'm assuming it's a flower. And we'll try it with the brush. It picks up on the brush pretty good. And spray. And let's see how this layers over top of that Morphe shade. See, already I'm getting payoff, but I am going to go in with my finger, which is that. And it changed, I mean, definitely changed the, okay, I'm back. I wiped up as best I could the fallout. But this is the end result of just playing with these two palettes. You have the Jaclyn Cosmetics and Morphe. And then the Ace Beaute. And, you know, honestly, I like both of them. I would, and I had actually thought, for declutter, of giving this one more go to see if I wanted to pop out any of these shades. And honestly, I don't think I do. This was one of the, from just looking at it, and this was the first transition shade I used. This is just such a pretty color, but I have the same color, or what looks like the same color, in my retro palette from Natasha Denona, along with many other ones. So this one is a definite declutter. And even just trying this, I love it. I like the eye look that, the few times that I have played with this, I do enjoy this color story. It's very, very nice. I did a green look, using these colors. It wasn't filmed, but you can just do so much with these colors. I really do enjoy them. So this one stays and this one goes. But, you know, the battle of the palettes, Ace takes the W. All right, guys. Thanks for just hanging out with me while I play in my palettes. Do all the YouTube things, please. It's free. It doesn't hurt. You can always change your mind. I hope you don't, but at any rate, be beautiful and be kind, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.